Hi everyone, this is Sandy Reese with StampItCrew.com. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. Thanks so much for joining me again today. Before we get started, I want to remind you that our February card class is going to be coming up this Thursday. It will be on Facebook Live at noon on the Crew Stampers Forum. I'll post a link below this video so you know where to, if you haven't joined, if you would like to join, or it'll be posted on YouTube a little bit later in the day. We're going to have an ordering special. I'm featuring the Petal Park bundle, so lots of cute projects coming up with that. All right, so today, the last couple of videos, we've kind of been going with the green theme. So today we're going to do another green card, and I wanted to do a retirement card. When I think of retirement, there's something that comes to mind. So I took a poll on the Crew Stampers Forum to see what everybody kind of thought of when they thought of retirement. Did they want to spend time with their kids or their grandchildren? They want to garden. Do they want to, some of them just wanted to sleep in or read a good book, or, what's the main thing? And the main, overwhelmingly, the main thing they wanted to do was travel. And I said, all right, well, that's what I want to do. I want to travel when we retire, and I love traveling now. We're trying to travel more. So this Watercolor World stamp set's in the mini catalog, perfect for a retirement card featuring travel. Now, this set is just an image, it does not have sentiments. So I am pairing it, or, is that the right word? Yeah, I'm pairing it with the Greatest Journey stamp set. Now, this has some great sentiments. It could be, it could be used for a lot of different things. But right here, this moment is the start of something great. And then wishing you joy in this next adventure, perfect for retirement. It's also great for, an inspirational card, thank you card. We're in this together. That could be an anniversary card to your loved one. Lots of different things. And then you could use different stamp sets too. It's got some great dies, but we'll do some projects later with this one. But I just needed a couple of these sentiments right here. Okay. So we are going to start with a garden green card base. And then we're going to stamp our world. Here's our big world stamp. So this is going to fit on one of the big background, the largest of the blocks. So I'm just going to ink this up with some garden green. Make sure I get it inked up well. And then what I'm going to do is I just have a little bottle filled with water bottle, and I'm going to spritz this a couple times. So I'm going to spritz it away from the camera so I don't get my paper all wet. But if you can kind of see that, it's not puddling, but it's starting to get a couple little, it's coming together with some water. All right, let's fit this on here. I'm going to set it down. I'm going to hold it for a second just so all that water and ink kind of melds together. And here we go. So you see the paper kind of pops up a little bit because it's wet. So we're going to let that dry for a second. And I have a little piece of white, and I wanted to, because it is a world, on the He's All That stamp set, this is in the annual catalog, we've got this great compass right here. So I wanted to add the compass because, it goes perfectly with the world. So I just added one more fun element. So I'm using StazOn, but you can use Memento or whatever color you want to use. And we're going to just stamp that right there. Now, this has a sentiment on the image. It says, "Every day without you is another adventure," which would be perfect for anniversary card. It's not great for retirement, so I took one of our circle dies from the Layering Circles, and it just cuts out this, the compass perfectly. And I've already done one just to save a little bit of time. If you don't have the circles, just cut it out right on the the circle line. Okay. Next, we are going to use a piece of crumb cake. Sometimes, you know, you're talking and you just kind of lose your train of thought. I try not to do that, but, you know, it happens. It happens to the best of us. Because I'm getting close to retirement age, that's why. Okay, I'm going to put that on at an angle. This one, see, now you can see how it's kind of flattened out, so it's almost dry. This is going to go on at a separate angle, so we see a little bit of that crumb cake peeking through. But before we glue that down, I have a piece of twine. Well, it's not really twine, it's linen thread is what it is. I love this stuff. I have so many spools of linen thread because I never ever want to run out. So I just buy a lot. And then I use it and I buy more because I always want like 4 rolls in stock at all times. Okay, so I cut it in half, so I have 2 pieces. I'm going to tape this around the back. My 2 pieces kind of just spaced a little bit. And you could use some seal adhesive if you want. Sometimes tape is easier for me because no one's going to see it. And I'm going to cross it over and then tape it again over here. If I can get them pulled. You know, you would think this wouldn't be the hardest part of the card, is taping some linen thread around. But for some reason I'm struggling. Okay, here we go. So now we've got this little crossed over right there, which is kind of what I want. And let's adhere this down at a different angle from that crumb cake. Okay, perfect. Okay, I got that right side up. Okay, we're gonna do a little more stamping. So this is my inside. Now I've got my words. I've got wishing you joy on this next adventure. So let's do this in garden green. Okay. You always want to double check if you're doing a landscape oriented card. Make sure on your next adventure. I feel like I didn't push down on my right side. That's okay. That's close enough. I'm not going to try to redo it. As I was saying, sometimes this is a problem in class. People tend to stamp and their card goes like this, or if they're doing this card, then they stamp across here. So always double check which way your inside sentiment needs to go before you stamp. Now, if you made a mistake, you can always flip it over and do it on the other side. Okay, now I want to use this other sentiment that says, this moment is the start of something great, and I'm going to stamp this on a little bit of crumb cake, which pulls this crumb cake in from our background. But I want to emboss this. So we are going to need some Versamark ink. We're going to pat our little embossing buddy on there so that our powder only sticks where we want it. Okay, and I cut this so it's just the right size for this sentiment because I didn't want a big piece. I don't want to cover up my world, but I just want it big enough to put in here. And then we're going to use white embossing powder. And my spoon seems to have disappeared. So I'm just going to stick that in there and we'll get off the extra. Whoop, come back. Okay, we're going to heat emboss this. Let's grab our heat tool. Okay. All right, now we can finish assembling. So I have taken a piece of this vellum. This is in the annual catalog, and I will post this with my supplies because I think it's layering vellum, something like that. So I'm just going to put a little piece of that right here, which it's okay to do a little bigger because you can see the world behind it. And then I'm going to pop this one up with the couple dimensionals. I think I only need 2 is good enough. And we'll put this kind of at an angle here. And we're not traveling to Russia with